Tips to get your esports caster career started. If you are about to kickstart your journey as an esports caster, or if you are aiming to become one in the future, below we have assembled some of the best tips and advice on the things to remember as a beginner esports caster. Be open to shoutcasting. You are probably a gamer today, but note that many of the casters' stories start with an accidental dabbling at casting before it went on to become their career. So, in short, keep your eyes and ears open, figuratively that is, for any such opportunities. Jump right in and just do it. For starters, don't expect to get paid a chunky salary for starters. It doesn't work like that. Instead, volunteer to work in esports tournaments where you can get a chance to showcase your skills, and if possible, at tournaments which has a huge following as well, such as 10N80 tournaments. Improve your vocabulary. Most experienced casters have an excellent vocabulary of the language in which they are commentating, but more importantly know the ins and outs of the vocabulary of the game they are casting on. Think Peter Drury in football. Become an expert in at least one game. The confidence from knowing your game inside out is probably second to none, and it allows a natural flow in casting during tournaments. A caster needs to be passionate while commentating, and that's usually a tough one to crack without being an expert at a game. Understand the technology. There are various ways to kickstart casting as a beginner. You could opt to do it on Twitch, or you could practice on old games on YouTube. You could also look to opt for audio-only casting like podcasters. Anything to get started. OBS Studio could be used for live casting, while Audacity is a good option for audio commentary. As far as hardware is concerned, streaming videos needs a lot of CPU and GPU strength, along with a solid internet connection. Sharp headsets with a crisp audio quality are a necessity as well. Know the difference between play-by-play and color casting. A caster can be expected to deliver play-by-play commentary or be a color caster, and it's important for someone starting out to understand the difference between the two. A play-by-play caster is one who calls out the action, narrating the story as it happens and adding his/her own excitement and thrill to the game. A color caster is one who adds color to the game, gives his/her own opinion about the play and analyzing the play instead of calling it on a second-by-second basis. Groom your X factor. It's difficult to define what X factor is, but in simpler terms, a caster needs some form of personality. In a competitive world, most casters can be expected to know what they are talking about, but those who survive in the long run are typically those who have some sort of a personality, or an X factor which makes them likable and convert them into a brand of their own. Know how much energy to use at what stage. There is a lot of action in esports tournaments, and commentators need to be excitable while describing play-by-play action. The thrill in the voice should always seep through, but at other times, the need to build up towards the excitement is quite vital. There are moments in the game which deserve more energy than the others, and it's important to learn the art of modulating one's voice accordingly. Clarity of speech. As a beginner caster, the temptation would be to narrate every small detail, but at times it's just not possible. What's not fine is the lack of clarity which might accompany a casting stint, because you have had to say a lot and ended up enunciating very little. Yep, that's the word, enunciation, which is the act of pronouncing words. Research and prepare. Before going out to cast a game, be sure your research is very thorough and you have prepared for scenarios. Ensure you have researched enough about the teams, the players, their previous record, their strengths and weaknesses, any inputs from games they have been a part of as scrims and so on. And if you are not a master of the game you are casting, research and try and improve your knowledge game itself so that you are covered for most situations. Casting partnerships could work well. While at entry levels where one isn't paid to cast in tournaments, the requirement is usually of just one color caster. Some competitions also get a play-by-play caster to commentate with a color caster, and if done well, this partnership could go a long way in adding to the fan experience. Try building an online presence. Start with your family and friends. They are probably the only people in the world who know about your casting aspirations as well, so use them to develop your skills. As you cast more, get used to the nuances, establish your own style. You also grow your following and establish your own brand. Practice, practice and practice. This is often said but often trivialized, but there is no substitute to practice. This will not just allow you to build an audience and your own brand, but also help you sharpen your edges, while at the same time understanding the nuances of the game you are casting. When you regularly practice and replay the casting in order to listen to it, you would have a far deeper understanding of where you could improve and what are your strengths. Review own work and ask for feedback. This is a continuation of the previous point. Keep learning, keep tweaking, keep improving. What would help is to not just review your own work but also get the pros involved, ask for help, try and get them to give you honest feedback and work to improve on it.